Healthcare is all about people. There's no machine to it. It's all about people who are driving this entire healthcare industry.
Tell your experience in building the culture at your company and like how the young founder can build a very great culture.
Absolutely, great question. So, Marengo Asia Hospitals, created by Dr. Rajiv Singhal, the entire genesis of this platform has been merging the cultures. So, be it your doctors, nurses, paramedics, and admin, all having equal importance, each and everyone.
When I see like hospital into the marketing, hospital do not do the traditional marketing like the other institute does. But recently I have seen a few hospitals are trying to do it. So what do you see in this whole hospital field, how the marketing structure will go?
Of course, the sources and the means become and continue to evolve, but the crux in the healthcare marketing per se is always about creating that right awareness.
One of the great piece of advice that you want to give a young founder who's starting out.
It's about
Welcome to Beyond the Step podcast, Dipali.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
So Dipali, you studied mathematics at Delhi University. And then right now you are at completely different industry, and I would say like the generation you are coming from is very very saturated, or I can say very very combined in just a degree format. So they follow a like, if you are doing like mathematics degree, then you will follow the mathematic path, and if you are doing another degree you are following that path, but you have chosen like different paths. So I just want to know like why you have chosen that and how that thought come out.
You know what? I think this generation was that transformational generation, wherein I think this was the batch and this was the era wherein people had started doing multitasking, multiple activities. The schools had introduced a lot of extracurricular thing. Like I remember my dad used to say at my school time, because I was into debates and I was into painting and I was into theater and so multiple things, and of course I was good in academics too. So my dad was like, you being jack of all and master of none, and that was that time. It was kind of the focus was what you rightly said, that being that master of something, but I think this was the generation which was the transformational part, which actually started doing multiple things. So I remember in my college time, and of course, having a very good, heavy duty, hardworking school schedule. When I started with my maths honor college, classes getting over at 12 noon. And I was like, what do you do the rest of the day? So then I started involving myself in multiple activities. I enrolled myself in German language. And then I tied up with Result McCann at that time. So, doing the promotional campaigns in my free time. So while my entire maths honors batch was, there was, so it was Venkateshwara College, and there was P.N. Arora tuition center right across. And the entire batch will join P.N. Arora tuitions and thing. And, and I was like, why did you choose maths honors if you had to take up tuitions? In the sense, your college, your post life is all what you need to do by yourself, and you cannot be doing the tuitions and things. So never believed in that tuition concept, and just engaged myself in all these extra activities.
Right.
So it's never, maths honors was also not a choice that I want to make a career in maths, but maths was a skill and maths was my this thing, wherein had been all about numbers, analytics, the logics, the right logics,
Right.
and arriving at a solution.
Right.
What maths teaches you is that every problem has a solution. And, that's been the winning formula all across throughout. So maths honors has definitely been the base of this entire thing.
So you were leading Quadrant, which was India's first healthcare focused executive search firm. Okay. But before that, how was the executive level of these hospital and every medical institute were hiring? And like why did you thought to just get into this place?
Okay, I'll go a little further behind.
Okay.
Yeah, so maths honors. Of course, MBA, and MBA also in International Business and Finance, and got into hospitality. And from hospitality, that's Taj, again, nurtured a baby by the name Rix there. So Rix was a new concept being created in Taj, wherein everyone from everywhere meets at Rix. And I was handpicked by the managing director, Nigel Grocock, that time for Taj Mansingh, for to create that right PR and the networking place for Rix, So again, Rix has been my baby, right? We again right from creating that right bar menu to who need to be at the launch and our PR list and the continuous activity list at Rix and everything, yeah. And then got into management consulting, wherein my role was more about sales and the solutions again for India entry strategy first, and then getting into performance improvement solutions, which is again totally people specific on arriving at people specific performance improvement solutions. And people could be your employees, your channel partners, or your customers. So solutions around these three audience. Again, purely sales role, heading the northern region and heading India then later on. So on and so forth. Getting universal signals from all across that I'm a people person and I know how to win over and have that skill set of understanding the business and understanding the leadership traits. And because all my profile and all my network and everything was constant engagement with a lot of managing directors and the CEOs and the investment bankers and the private equities, and so that was the real network. So the universal signals from all across that executive search is the industry for me. So when I got into executive search with multinationals in the initial, and again AESC listed, which is AESC is the most renowned association of executive search industry. So doing the retained searches, the top leadership hiring, so automatically got diverted towards healthcare. So while I was doing India entry strategy and performance improvement solutions, healthcare was always my liking, always a bent towards healthcare, wherein in India entry strategy also I was working with a lot of healthcare companies. So companies like Biomerio and, Medimix, these are all international brands whom we helped get into the Indian market. So, and then followed by this performance improvement solutions, again, having a bent towards healthcare. So when I got into executive search, and that time, healthcare delivery was only purely doing referral sales. It was the hiring only through referrals. So this is that reference profile, the internal network also, the referral hiring was working, the doctor hiring was also working through referrals, and a very, very traditional recruitment method. Right. So they didn't even know what is retail search all about and thing. So I was the first few search consultants to initiate the search practice in healthcare delivery system. Pharma was, of course, acquainted to this particular executive search industry, but healthcare delivery system, that's that hospitals. Yes, I was first few search consultants to initiate that practice. And after, having spent about good 5-7 years or even 10 years in healthcare executive search, that's when Quasent happened, and we created this healthcare focused executive search. So of course, owned by one of the great veterans of the healthcare industry, and I just helped forming the company. Right. And yes, Quasent was my name only to the organization, and purely and then working with a lot of private equities, working with a lot of leading healthcare companies for their entire leadership hiring, for their lead revenue driving doctor hiring, for their complete management structuring, and having the entire, the talent development for the team, and further plans for the talent development on how the succession planning for the leadership positions will happen. So yes, lot of activity, lot of work with private equities vesting into the healthcare companies and doing the entire management buyouts. So yes, was involved in a lot of these activities.
So, Dipali, you are in one of the in the sector or in the industry where you are building culture in a team. Okay. So, I mean, I also run Quickreel, and this is one of the difficult tasks. Is like how you build the culture. That's how your company will be building in the future time. Okay. How the people are working, how those people are loving the company, and then how we can grow it from the further points. But you are in a sector which is very, very difficult. My sector is still easy. Your sector is very, very difficult, where the next life is at stake. So, how do you build that kind of culture? I think this question will be really helpful for any young founders who want to build a great culture into their company.
Yeah.
So, just tell your experience, how your experience in building the culture at your company, and like how the young founder can build a very great culture.
Absolutely. Great question. So, again, going a little deeper. So, Marengo Asia Hospitals, platform again created by Dr. Rajiv Singhal. Again, legendary story wherein he's been also from army and how he got into, corporate life and then, forming his own platform, vested by the biggies, Godrej Family Office, Havells Family Office, and Samara Capital. The entire genesis of this platform has been acquiring and merging hospitals under a consolidated platform with a core vision of, transforming the patient journey, with patient first being the core centricity and the core philosophy. And it's all been, now we are 8 hospitals, and either acquisitions, largely acquisitions, and a couple of them as O&M, which is operations and management. And they've all been well established hospitals. None of them has been a greenfield hospital. They've been all well established hospitals. Now, when they're already well established hospitals, they already have their defined culture in their setups. Yeah. And it's all about merging the cultures. You can never say that, okay, this is not right and this is great or something. Everything has its own beauty. Yeah. And when you are in this kind of setup wherein it's about acquisitions, it's about consolidating a platform and, having the best of the hospitals under your umbrella, each culture is unique in its own. And for us and my department and our leadership, it's always has been merging these cultures in the best blended way, so and touch wood, we've been successful in that. And the entire principle behind that has been that healthcare is all about people. Yeah, there's no machine to it. There's no auto digital technology. Of course, there's those medical technology which are tools to bring that transformation and thing. But it's all about people who are driving this entire healthcare industry. So be it your doctors, nurses, paramedics, and admin, all having equal importance, each and everyone, even the GTA, even the security. Yeah, everyone having their own set of equal importance. And that's where for us has been that how you create that importance for each and everyone, giving them the culture of equity and respect for each other. That's been just pure principle, equity and respect for all.
Yeah, I think like treating everyone as equal important, like each and every part or each and every member of your team is like equally important. That's a very great, I think, great advice for any young founder, because in the earlier time, whosoever start their something own, they do not know these kinds of things. Like they think like if they are a founder, they are maybe a kind of head to it. They have more leverage and all. But I think when you take everyone together and the team collectively grows out, then the whole institute will grow out. So very good
So right.
advice. one of the trends that I'm seeing into the healthcare system, like when I talk to my relatives and some of my friends who live outside India, uh, they come to India for their treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was just talking to one of my cousin. She came to India for her IVF.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you see? Like, where is India is winning into the healthcare system? Because when I see into UK, when I see in UK, there's a lot of lines still on the wait list of
Absolutely.
getting into the government hospitals, and the private hospitals pretty too
The
expensive.
charge too heavy.
And then in US, like the surgery costs too much, and then these people come to India and get their healthcare done. So what do you see where we are winning, why we are winning, and how is the future of India healthcare into the next 10 years?
You know, again, a very interesting concept at just at the right time, wherein even government has realized that importance of India being that medical hub. So, in fact, you know, Marengo Asia has been thought leader under the thought leadership of Dr. Rajiv Singhal, wherein we have actually been able to take medical value travel to a different concept altogether, wherein it's not just about patients getting treated in India. Of course, you know, and why patients would come to India is where, you know, they have their lot of waiting times, expensive treatment elsewhere, and for some of the countries, not even having those complex treatments.
Right.
So you know, for which medical value travel, per se previously known as medical tourism, has been into existence for ages. But now it's a new era. And the new era, which, you know, I can say it with great pride that Marengo Asia has been that first mover in creating this new era again, is the concept of 3 Ts, which is teach, train, and treat. So it's not just about patients coming here, but it's even doctors from different countries coming and getting trained in India. And likewise, our expert clinicians, you know, serving as that capacity building and operating in these countries in terms of the complex surgeries, and not just operating in these countries, but also creating and training, creating and building an ecosystem in these countries for these complex procedures like liver transplant, cardiac surgeries, you know, and all the other complex procedures in terms of the joint replacements and the neurosurgeries and, you know, all these other part of thing. So we've been able to implement this entire concept of medical value travel in the new concept of 3 Ts.
One thing, I have a personal question to you. Like, I'm coming from a marketing background because I do a marketing at Quickly. Like, this is what our forte. Like, we know how's the marketing going and all. But I have seen a trend into the hospitals, and you are also coming from the marketing background. That's why I'm asking this question. When I see like hospital into the marketing, hospital do not do the traditional marketing like the other institute does. But recently, I have seen a few hospitals are trying to do it. So, what do you see in the future, like in this whole hospital field, how the marketing structure will go? Like, will hospital will do try to do more market themselves? If they do, how they do it? So, what's the perspective on that?
It's, you know, of course, the sources and the means become and continue to evolve. But the crux in the healthcare marketing per se is always about creating that right awareness. You know, so the means and the ways could be manifold, you know, but it's about reaching to the right audience at the right time, and giving them the know-how. You know, I know, of course, now the know-how exists in Google and the Chat GPT and all the AIs in the world, but there's definitely more to it. Of course, you know, patient should be able to correlate that yes, this is what I'm feeling, why I'm feeling, and it's time that I should consult a doctor. That awareness
That
is important, and that's what is the marketing for the healthcare, the right marketing.
You have already spent like 24 years in this space. One thing you would like to fix in this whole space, like in healthcare space, you want to fix only one thing. So what it would be?
Too many things that yet need to be fixed in healthcare. So that's it when we say that we are into the transformational journey. Of course, the industry has, and India has definitely outgrown many other countries in terms of the technology and the clinical excellence, and we have the best of the doctors. India does have the best of the doctors, and we have the best of the treatments. But what is needed is, and that's where our four core values, what we also developed, and that's what is the need of the hour is as well, creating accountability in the system. Yeah, that's something which has been lacking, and if we're able to, create that accountability amongst each and everyone, amongst the system, amongst it's not just the hospital, but all the other stakeholders like insurance and all the panels and the TPAs and all the contractual partners and all the other stakeholders of the industry, the pharma and the all the medical devices. So everyone, if we can create that accountability in the system all across the ecosystem, I think we have win over the game.
Yeah, I think India's healthcare system is already one of the leading healthcare system in the world. I think it can be the best into the future time. Like as you said, like these problems will be getting solved, and I think like India have the best people who are leading this industry like you. So I think we are on a great path, and we will be like in the future, like the whole world will say like India is the best place for like medical treatment from anywhere for anything. So
Absolutely. Can't agree more.
I mean, we all should say thank you to the people who are leading the industry like you. So who are making this possible. So Dipali, you were in like marketing, business, sales, this type of role you were doing it, and you were into that type of sector, and then suddenly you get into that HR and people sector. So how that transformation happened, and why did you choose that particular transformation? Like why do you want to get into like people space?
Okay, great. Again, something of great passion. I've always been a great people's person. And of course, probably having met, I can't even put a number to how many people that I would have kind of, would hold in my network or something. I don't even have a count to it. But having came across so many different types and different kind of people, I think I have gathered that knack of understanding the pulse of the people. And, and coming from a business role, what is needed in the business, it was very, very sad to see at times that HR, wherein it's the core of any this thing, because it's about people. It's a people's function. Yeah, it's about creating that discipline, creating the governance, creating that atmosphere to ensure that people are happy. Yeah, but it wasn't happening that ways. It isn't happening that ways all across. And wherein HR is just an administrative office to ensure to manage the hiring, manage the payroll, and so typically in healthcare, it was always used to say that HR का काम होता है रंगोली बनाना. So यही बोला जाता था और यही होता है. So, but for me, when I kind of, when this Maringo Asia was being conceptualized and, was being founded and formed, it was that, when Dr. Rajiv said that, we would want you to take up this role. And I'm like, and this is one department and one this thing wherein I feel that, it's very, very narrow-minded and not narrow-minded, very, very horse-minded, I would say, and requires complete transformation. And he was like, yeah, that's where, we need to change the paradigm of HR in healthcare. And that's where my next challenge was ready. And there we are, changing the complete paradigm that we don't even have HR department in our organization. And we call it PTO, that's People Development Office.
Interesting stuff.
Yes.
It's very, very interesting.
So, in our P&L and in all the financial statements and in our review meetings, in all our MIS, we do not have a cost item, a line item of HR cost, and we call it human asset cost. That it's a cost to your asset. So, yeah. So that's how, and for us, the entire raison d'etre of this People Development Office has been that organization is all about people. And amongst your people, if you're able to enrich your people with what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to do, and why you're supposed to do what you're supposed to do, if you're able to enrich them, each and every one, with these three things, obviously they would be ensuring that they are at their best. And if each and everyone is at their best, there is no way that organization would not make it at the best. So for us, we work on this entire principle of enriching people with what, why, and how through our integrated process of engage, equip, measure, and motivate. So that's how we have built in our processes around these 4 pillars, and everything happens in every program, every learning, everything that we do comes with these 4 elements of what we're doing, engage, how we're doing, equip, constant measurement, and constant motivation, rewarding the right behaviors in the organization. So, yes.
Well, you have spent almost 24 years in the whole industry. And you have must interviewed like thousands of people. As you said, like I do not remember the number. So, but still, like there are some stories which are like you have interviewed some of the like one of the person who have left a spark into your brain. Like this is like something like which is different from others. So, is there something? If there was any moment or any person who have left a spark in your brain, like this guy is different.
There's learning from each and every individual. Each interview is a great learning because there's so much which a person comes from. And again, there is no right or wrong. It's just that every individual is built with its own, the strengths and certain weakness or certain challenges and thing. And it's about that, whether this blend of that strength and weakness is fitting into our thing. So, and there's been so many learnings again. Each individual, this thing, every candidate I would have interviewed, every business meeting I would have undergone, I think the entire personality which is shaped up is because of these people and the interviews and the number of people I would have met, because there is a learning from each and every individual, and I cannot say that that's been my major learning. All what I'm saying and all what have been created is actually all learning from people only. So the learning doesn't get dropped into your mind, but it's all people, and there have been multiple people who have contributed to this learning. Right from an interview of a head sales, I remember that management consulting, grassroots performance improvement solutions, some of the business meetings and some of the solutions that we would have, working having worked with Dell and the HDFC and, all these top companies, and the learnings that I would have gathered from the CEOs and the CMOs of these companies. And then, of course, the private equities I would have come across. And of course, the number of candidates I would have interviewed everywhere. The learning is endless. It's how one takes on to this learning. Yeah.
One thing, like me and my co-founder also, when we sit and we have spent like almost 5 to 6 years into the industry, like we have seen a lot of founders and we have seen a lot of people into the industry. And one thing that we saw and that we really, believe in, like if you have the people skill, if you know how to talk to the people, if you know how to communicate better, I think you are way ahead from the 99% in your industry. Like any other skill, you can build it up, you can learn, and then you can build it up. But this is a skill that still make you ahead from the others. Like if I'm very good at like engineering, I'm good at writing codes, but I'm not good at communicating my thought process to the other person who is on the other side of the table, then I think I will not get the results like the top 1% are getting. So I just want to know from you, like one of the great piece of advice that you want to give a young founder who's starting out that they should apply in their early career, and also to an employee, okay, who is on the other side of the table, what one skill they should like master, or maybe it should be like in people skill, what they should do.
So, answering the later part first, what they should do in that people skill, it's about connecting with people, and connecting means you need to put yourself in the other person's shoes, and then engage on a conversation. That's when it is there. One of the learning from Mataj is that it's a must to have an eye contact. Yeah, so that's that learning I'm carrying from my early career. That to connect with a person, it's eye contact which matters the most. Yeah, and that's where you make that entire connect, and you're able to empathize also. You're able to understand that person, and then you're able to make that conversation accordingly. So that's about the people connect. I'm not the person probably to give an advice to all the startup founders or something, because startup founders are doing a great job by kind of, taking that uh, accountability and responsibility of that, owning up the startup and, being there. But I think it's just that, and again, it's passion drives the success, and there are no shortcuts, and it's purely passion and hard work which takes you there. So that's where it's the key, and that's where is the mission.
Let's say if all your interviews, all your podcast, all your articles, everything get erased from the internet, and you have next 60 seconds to leave something for this world, what would you want to leave for this world?
Wow, live your dream. It's seriously, every individual has its own individuality and is sent for a purpose. You need to find your purpose. You have that purpose in the world, and I'm sure that each and everyone, if they're able to find their purpose, they're able to contribute to the best of the thing, and make a great impact everywhere. So I think, yes,
This is the
that's
best.
my 60 seconds.
This is the best answer I have ever received in this. Like,
Yeah.
just do your purpose. You are here for something. Like, I also think the same. Like, I mean, you come here for something. You are not come in this world to just get settled down and just pass out your life.
Absolutely.
You are here for something, and you can do a lot of wonders. Live your dream.
Absolutely.
Do if you want to do something, do it because you can do
Absolutely.
it. Nothing can stop
Absolutely.
you.
Nothing can stop you. Universe will find its own
Find it
way.
your own way. I
Absolutely.
think like I remember that quote from like Shah Rukh Khan movie Om Shanti.
कायनात बदल जाती है. बिल्कुल.
Right. So I mean, Dipali, you have met a lot of person into your life and your career. Like you have been into like multiple institute, multiple companies now with Marengo Asia Hospitals. Uh, I want to ask, like, who's the most impressive person you have ever met?
Um, I would give it to my uncle, my mentor, actually my best friend's dad, who I think I, when you are a kid, you actually look upon somebody. So I think he's been my that somebody that I always got inspired, and I'm like, oh, that's what I would like to be, So I think, and that's where I landed up being. So I think he's been clearly an inspiration, and he's been clearly, and yes, I think I owe it to him.
One like now we are coming to the end of this podcast, and I think this was like a kind of a great session for any young founder who is watching, or personally for me, it is really helpful. So I mean, one of the best piece of advice you have ever got in your life.
Oh, again, multiple advices again, which have kind of shaped
But
up my
yeah,
personality.
but you want to keep that one thing on
Ah,
the top of the list.
best advice, Thandrak. That, yes, when you're very, very passionate, when you're very energetic, you are always very impulsive and this thing. But at the same time, it's very important to stay calm. So I think that's been my best advice, which I've been kind of now trying to always balance it out. That Thandrak.
So now we are just close to wrap up, Dipali. Just before closing it, because you are a people person, that's my personal question to you. You have observed me from when you enter into the room till now. Okay, I just want to know from you one thing that you think that I'm doing good, one thing where you think like I should improve.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Few things that you're doing great at. You're great connecting with people. Um, you have that knack of giving comfort to the other person to engage in the conversation. So you've just won over on this aspect. And then of course, no doubt, amazing communication and so amazing connect. So you're absolutely in the right industry and absolutely doing the perfect role and the job that you've taken up, and I'm sure this company will do great wonders. One thing you can improve on, I think I think too early for me to comment on anything or something, because I definitely need to know you more to comment on that. But I think it's a great initiative, and it's this company could really bring a lot of learning to a lot of people and help again create and lead them to the path of success through this initiative. So great initiative.
Thank you so much, Dipali. Great to have you. It was a great session for me, and lovely talking to you. Uh, Thank you for coming on the Beyond the Script podcast.
Thank you so much for having me here, and I really enjoyed this entirely, thoroughly.
Same here, same.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.